Do you think this team is ready to smash the season or what? Alarms are blaring. Our aerial weapon has just gone code red. What happens when you lose the player that drives the offensive machine? Atlanta is already rubbing their hands while KLIFF Kingsbury sweats. And this is only the first act. But wait for what's coming. A veteran QB has just revived his career with a Pro Bowl performance. Is IT enough to edge out the injured rookie? Rumors are boiling in Ashbourne. Dan Quinn wasn't surprised. But we are. And just when you thought the blood had cooled down, the roster explodes with a rookie tight end that not even NFL projections saw coming. Do you think Bates will get his spot back? Forget about IT. This 4.4 beast just changed the game rules. Want to know how this affects the playoff race? After years, and I mean years, of watching this organization stumble over and over with the passing game, we finally found something solid in Terry McLaurin. When I think of all we have suffered since the glorious days of Art Monk and Gary Clark, when the Redskins really knew what it was like to have elite receivers, Terry had become that hope we desperately needed here in the DMV. But now it turns out he's doubtful for the game on Sunday against the Falcons. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, McLaurin is dealing with a quad injury. And here comes what truly worries me. Schefter specifically reported that Terry is still seeking further info on the injury. Do you know what it means when an NFL player is seeking more information about their injury? I tell you this. It means the situation is much more serious than initially thought. We're not talking about some minor discomfort that can be handled with ice and painkillers. Now I ask you, how on earth are we going to move the ball effectively against an Atlanta defense that is already studying specifically how to stop Terry? Kirk Cousins knows our offense better than anyone, and if we don't have our most lethal weapon on the field, they're going to load the box and make our lives hell. The reality is brutally simple. Terry McLaurin isn't just a receiver. He's the entire system of our passing game. With only 10 receptions for 149 yards in 3 games, he was just beginning to find his rhythm in Cliff Kingsbury's new scheme. And you know what's the most frustrating part of this whole situation? We just invested $96 million in this man with a 3-year extension before the season started. Do you think Dan Snyder would have made that investment? Never. But Josh Harris and Adam Peters understood that in this league, when you have an elite caliber receiver, you protect him at all costs. And now, just when we finally had an organization thinking long-term, we face the possibility of losing our most important player at the most crucial moment. But here's what really has me worried. Without Terry on the field, all the offensive pressure falls on Jahan Dotson, who is still developing, and our young receivers who haven't proven they can carry a full offense. Jeremy McNichols had that spectacular 60-yard run last week, but I firmly believe that without the threat of Terry opening the field, defenses will stack 8 men in the box and make our running game practically impossible. At 30 years old, Terry is at the peak of his professional career. He has developed the experience to read defenses like a veteran, but maintains the speed and agility of his younger years. Losing him now, when we finally have a team that can compete for the playoffs, would be absolutely devastating for our aspirations. If that surprises you, wait to hear this. And if you thought the quarterback situation was clear after Jaden Daniels' injury, you're completely wrong. The statements Dan Quinn made after the victory against Las Vegas not only surprised me, but convinced me that this competition for the starting spot is far from being decided. Quinn said verbatim, and I quote, "Probably one of the least surprised people in the stadium that he played well." Did you hear that? The head coach wasn't surprised. That tells me that in daily practices, in the training sessions we don't see, Mariota has been showing a level of play that the fans and media hadn't perceived. And you know why this is absolutely great for this organization? Because for the first time since Josh Harris bought the team, we have real depth at the most important position in football. While the Cowboys are dealing with Dak Prescott's chronic inconsistencies, who earns $40 million annually but can't win important games, and the Eagles are still praying for Jalen Hurts to regain the form he had 2 seasons ago, we have TWO quarterbacks who can win NFL games. Mariota's performance against Las Vegas was simply spectacular in every aspect. That 2-yard rushing touchdown where he showed his athletic ability still intact. That 43-yard connection with McCaffrey that practically sealed the victory, and more importantly, that presence on the field that Quinn described as very controlled and super consistent. I believe this is exactly what this organization needed to see. Mariota hadn't started since 2022, but he showed that he still has the level, experience, and mindset to lead an NFL offense. Quinn specifically mentioned his ability to stay consistent and not do extra things, which is NFL code for a mature quarterback who understands game situations. But here's the really interesting part of this whole situation. Quinn emphasized it's not about creating a quarterback controversy, but about trusting the process and evaluating week by week. Now I ask you, what does that statement really mean? I tell you this, it means if Jaden Daniels isn't completely healthy, if there's even the slightest chance his knee injury could worsen, Mariota will continue to be the starter. And honestly, after that dominant performance, after seeing how the offensive line gave him protection and how the receivers responded to his leadership, why change something that's working perfectly? The offensive line played its best game of the season protecting him. The ground game found spaces we hadn't seen in previous weeks. The connection with the receivers was smooth and natural. Do you think that was coincidence? No. It was the result of a veteran quarterback who knows exactly how to manage an offense and how to make everyone around him look better. Meanwhile, the Giants are still trying to figure out if Daniel Jones can be their franchise quarterback after years of mediocrity. We have the blessing of having two viable options that can win important games, but that's nothing compared to what's coming. And when you thought we were done with surprises, turns out we have another position where depth is being tested in ways absolutely nitrogen monoxide one anticipated. With John Bates out with a groin injury, Ben Sinnott and Colson Yankoff had to step up against Las Vegas, and the results left Dan Quinn more than impressed. But do you know what really excited me about Quinn's statements? The way he explained how Cliff Kingsbury adjusted the entire offensive design to maximize Sinnott's strengths. Quinn specifically said it was the most he played and also the best he played, referring directly to our rookie tight end. That's burgundy and gold, baby. Total adaptability and intelligent use of available talent. When other teams lose a starter, their offense collapses. When we lose a starter, we find ways to make the backup not only fill the gap, but potentially elevate the level of play. The difference in styles between Bates and Sinnott is absolutely fascinating from a tactical perspective. While John Bates is more of a power tight end who can block large defensive ends and handle short yardage situations, Sinnott uses his superior speed off the line of scrimmage to beat someone's timing, as Quinn perfectly described. And do you know why this is crucial for our future? Because it shows that Adam Peters and this new administration have built real depth, not just names on the roster. Sinnott showed that he can let loose completely and be aggressive, reaching the next defensive level consistently. I believe this situation could create a completely healthy competition that will benefit our entire offense in the long run. When Bates returns, he won't automatically get back his starting position just for seniority. He's going to have to compete against a rookie who just proved he can produce at a high level in pressure situations. Now, I ask you, isn't it amazing to have this kind of depth after years of worrying over every minor injury? While the Giants are still struggling to find a reliable tight end after losing Darren Waller, and Dallas is completely relying on Jake Ferguson without real backup, we have multiple options that can contribute immediately. Quinn specifically mentioned how Sinnott was aggressive, beating someone's timing, reaching the next level. These aren't characteristics taught in a week. These are natural skills waiting for the right opportunity to manifest. The coordination between Kingsbury and Quinn to adjust the offensive scheme also tells me we have a coaching staff that truly understands how to maximize available talent. They're not forcing players to adapt to a rigid system. They're adapting the system to bring out the best in each individual player. Recapping everything we just analyzed. Terry injured, Mariota dominating. Depth tested. These three situations show us exactly why this season is completely different from anything we've experienced in recent years here in the DMV. For the first time since Josh Harris acquired the team, we have an organization that can adapt to adverse situations, that has real depth in key positions, and that has leadership both on the field and on the sideline, that knows exactly how to handle pressure moments. Do you think Terry will recover in time to face Kirk, Cousins, and that Atlanta defense that knows all our secrets? Should Mariota keep his spot as starter even when Daniels is fully healthy? And what do you think about the possibility that Sinnott has permanently earned a bigger role in our offense? Leave all your comments below because I need to know exactly what the best NFL fan base thinks about these crucial decisions. If you agree that we finally have the organizational depth we've been waiting years for, like this video right now. If you think these Washington Commanders are fundamentally different from any team we've had in the last decade, subscribe because I guarantee tomorrow we'll have more explosive news that will change everything you thought you knew about our franchise. This is our Commanders family. This is our community that lives and breathes burgundy and gold every day of the year. Together we will follow every move, every strategic decision, every victory of this team that is finally giving us legitimate reasons to dream big.